Like, we started selling this product out of the trunk of our cars.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Inventory management is about balance.
Get the product out. That's number one.
I've always preached sustainable growth.
So we just started building community.
Look at the data.
Product development is everything.
Yeah, we say we're a brick, click, and pop.
But you have to love what you do.
So next up, we have Lizzie from Klaviyo. Lizzie's the partner marketing manager there. And for those that, again, haven't heard of Klaviyo before, they help some 30,000 e-commerce businesses drive more sales with really targeted and highly relevant email campaigns. So I know we use them with a ton of our clients. We know lots of merchants that use them. So I will give you the mic here, Lizzie.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing well. It's a sunny day here in Boston, so can't really complain in that note. Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome to participate. And actually, let me share my screen. So for those of you that have not heard of Klaviyo, and I do have to say thank you to everyone that already is a customer. I know that we have several customers that already presented. And so you guys are awesome. And also shout out to Brittany Cantor, who added me on LinkedIn prior to this and gave me some words of encouragement. So thank you very much for that. For those of you who haven't heard of Klaviyo, we are a marketing platform that specializes in owned marketing practices. So what that basically breaks down to is what channels you can actually have full control over. So think your list that you actually have comes from your website, and then you can use it for your email, for SMS or mobile. And that's pretty much it that you can have the full control over. Once you get onto Amazon, once you get into Facebook or Google, you're kind of at the mercy of what everyone else is kind of telling you what you can and cannot do. So we are all about, customer data, more customer data that you can collect, and using that customer data to create more personalized experiences. So when all of this crazy stuff happened, the world changed, and it's been changing really, really quickly. We wanted to figure out a way that we could do something to provide value. So between Monday, March 16th and Friday, March 20th, we put our heads together, and I don't think the marketing team has slept since then, but we decided that we wanted to provide value in the way of data. Anyone who knows Klaviyo knows that we're kind of like this combination of a CRM, a CDP, and an ESP. And so data is kind of our livelihood of what we thrive off of. So we wanted to be able to provide brands with what's going on, and then what brands should be doing about it. So we initially started with just one survey, and we were interviewing brands every single day, and then every day providing insights and value. We decided that wasn't enough. So we started a second survey, and we started interviewing and surveying consumers to understand where consumers' buying habits were going. So wanted to share some of that data, what we're seeing, and hopefully be able to share some trends that may be able to help all the brands here. So in general, at first, there was a lot of brands that were saying that their sales were going down. So this has just been updated from yesterday's survey results. We're seeing an increase in brands saying that their sales are actually going up, as well as, brands saying that they're staying the same. So that initial dip when, the coronavirus first happened, and I'm sure that there were lots of layoffs at first. It definitely has shifted and is now normalizing back to where brands are going to continue to see more website traffic and more sales to continue going up. So super positive. And then I think even more positive, especially for those, and going off of what Marco was saying with, shop small and small brands. There's a significant increase that we're seeing on the number of people that are saying that they're shopping from independent retailers. Traditionally, everybody would be turning to the Amazons of the world to be able to gather all of their stuff and their essentials. But there has been that slowdown in what is essential and what's non-essential for Amazon. So a lot of folks, especially in the apparel space, are turning to those independent retailers to be able to shop from. So it's a huge opportunity for those brands that are looking to establish a foothold. And then just to kind of look at what are those factors for why consumers are choosing to go with the independent retailers. And it's based, obviously price, that's a huge thing that we're looking at, but then availability and then delivery speed. And so as Marco had also pointed out in the last presentation, there's really an opportunity to get a foothold above Amazon right now as an independent retailer on your Shopify store to be able to create a really great brand customer experience. And then the other thing to just keep in mind is that everyone's changed. Like our mindsets have changed, our wants, our needs, our priorities, and that means that our buying behaviors are going to change as well. So there's what we're calling this new essential. So we always think of, obviously food and beverage. And as you can see in the past 2 weeks, 97% of respondents had said that they had purchased food and beverage. But it goes further than just, food and beverage or laundry detergent or whatever else. But this is more about creating a comfortable lifestyle while everybody is in quarantine or kind of locked down. So thinking about, the work from home attire for toys and hobbies. And we're finding that those who have more than 2 kids have, said that the number of toys or the percentage of those that have more kids is correlated to the amount of shopping for toys and hobbies that they're buying. Also pet and food items. We've noticed a lot of folks that while they're working from home have purchased new animals or have adopted animals or fostering animals. So there is a huge rise for pet food and items in that regard. So apparel and accessories also is still a new accessory, is still a new essential. And we're seeing that those that have that work from home loungewear attire is doing extremely well. And then we've just crossed over 32,500 customers, which is a huge milestone for us. And we surveyed throughout all of the revenue and Shopify data that our customers are seeing. And what's a super positive is that overall, across all customers, we're seeing an upward trend for sales. So overall revenue, not just the number of orders, but then the amount of those orders is going up. So from the end of February until now, it's been an increase of over 26% at this point. So definitely positive and kind of hang in there because there's good stuff on the way. And I think, going back to, marketing strategies, and I know Socialite is an expert in this space, but, business as usual strategies are not necessarily going to work during these times. So really keeping in mind, and as I was talking about before, that now more than ever, personal connections matter. We are all humans. We're all dealing with a lot right now. So how can you be creating those memorable experiences that will build those lasting, relationships? And at the end of the day, the only way that you're going to be able to build a relationship with someone is by, observing them, listening to what their behaviors are, analyzing those, understanding them, and then communicating back to them in a way that feels very, very personal and as if it was meant for them. That's kind of like the system for you creating a relationship in real life in general. You listen, you analyze, and then you act. So we kind of think of the same way for when you're approaching your marketing is how can you collect more information about your customer or ask them for more information so that you can then create a better experience for them. So just a couple tips and kind of double dipping on what Marco has said, because I think that they're really, really important. So maximizing and customizing your pop-up forms. Pop-up forms are obviously really great for collecting, information from new visitors to your website. So building your list. And as he said, update your messaging so new visitors know you're either accepting orders, you're not accepting orders. It's even great to put in that our team is safe. Maybe it's like our team is home and packing orders from their houses or something like that to really make it really personal. But I also want to point out that for those who are a Klaviyo user or interested in using Klaviyo, you can actually segment what pop-up forms are displayed to what groups. So you can kind of check off this box that has don't show to existing Klaviyo profiles so that if there is someone new, they may see a different pop-up from others. And the same goes for if you have somebody that just recently purchased. So you can create a segment that would be a recent purchase in, let's say, the past 10 days, depending on what your timetable is for returning orders. And you can show them, hey, I know and I noticed that you just placed an order and I'm going to treat you differently with a different pop-up that I may not show to others. So checking in on your order, like if you haven't received the tracking number, you will, don't worry, it's not lost in the mail, we'll get it to you. But if you have concerns, to contact us so that it may be filtering a different way versus maybe somebody taking it out on Twitter or social media somewhere. So just in general, again, knowing who your customers are, being able to serve them in a way that feels personalized for them. And then the other thing, so email automations, number one, if you are not doing email automations today, you are leaving money on the table, and now is the time to start. Whether you're using Klaviyo or not, I beg you to please put email automations and flows in place. Make sure that those flows that you do have in place are updated. So any existing automation in the content is empathetic, it's relevant. Also making sure that like anything that you're putting out is like an upsell for specific products. If they are, you know, out of inventory or super low inventory, maybe you want to change those out with different messaging or do something in that way. This is also a great time that like, if you had more time on your hands, if you, you know, you're usually running around a store or something of that nature, and now you're kind of stuck behind your computer, check the flows that you've been already, you know, using, check the data behind them, see if there's an opportunity to switch things around, maybe do some A/B tests, as Marco was saying before. You know, you have your welcome series, your abandoned cart, browse abandonment, win back flow, post-purchase, and replenishment reminders. There's so much that can be done to, you know, continue to improve those. And especially now's the time to test. And then the biggest thing, back in stock automations. So if you're not already, you know, using the back in stock flow, please set that up, especially if you're having supply chain issues. You can still capture every single visitor regardless of inventory. One of our awesome customers who gives a crap, they just so happen to have a subscription service for toilet paper. They obviously have run out, but they were still able to put this out where, you know, they're able to collect email and have a wait list for those that want to join the subscription service once they are back in stock. And so there are ways that for these back in stock flows that you can have, you know, trigger an email that's sent when somebody has subscribed back in stock, and then the inventory has gone back and it's, you know, the wait is over. You can also make it so it branches out, and you split those filters so that one who has, you know, the VIP status or something receives the email first, versus one that is, you know, just Joe Schmo who has just signed up for the first time gets it maybe 2 hours later than those who are VIP. So just making sure that you have all of those automations set up, because like I said, if you don't have them set up, you're just kind of leaving money on the table, because you can help you drive revenue while you're sleeping. And then just kind of last thoughts. So communicating with empathy, it's really weird right now. Everybody is in a really weird place. So just being extra sensitive. We have a great blog post that is, you know, about communicating with empathy and how to think about that. Sending more. So open rates are up. People are in front of their screens. People are craving super creative content. So if you have something good to share, go for it. Even Marco had said this too, like test things out. Now's the time to see if it works. I mean, even for a great example, I saw Free People, they're not one of our customers, unfortunately, but I saw an email right before this where they were talking about date nights at home and why you should be purchasing more luxury items and like more dress wear, so that you and your boyfriend or fiance or husband can go and have like a nice dinner with yourselves. And here's like a step-by-step tip for creating a nice dinner and having a nice environment, like light your candles, purchase this off of this, you know, butcher, you know, service or something like that. So it's just a super creative way to get your products out there with a different spin. Discounting less if you can afford to. So if you fall within that new essential category, you may be discounting too much. We had one customer that just stopped discounts even on the initial sign up in the welcome series, and they ended up increasing their sales by 500%. So it's a lot that you can be saving depending on where you fall within that kind of essentials or non-essentials category. And then lastly, just adapting to thrive. So I've seen this all over the place, and everybody I think is really noticing. If there's a way to reinvent your products, your positioning, your packaging, to do some good, consumers are definitely noticing, and they're willing to pay more, to do more, to you know, be more involved with your brand as just a kind of a mission. So highly recommend that. This is a great example from one of our customers, Sleep. They have this shirt that's like a super comfortable sleep shirt, but they've made it into a package so that you can send them and gift them for those who are in the medical field. So it comes with a toothbrush, a small toothpaste, and an eye mask. And it's something that they're promoting, and they've done really, really well with it that way. I also just saw like Rothy's, for example, they're using like a third of their warehouse, I think, to come up with personal protective gear that is washable. So using the materials they're already using. So if there's a way that you can give back and do something that's different, like everybody is noticing. And I think that that helps you establish a connection with customers in that way. And then lastly, I just wanted to make a plug for the surveys. If you want to take them and start to get the data to your inbox, we'll send them to you every single day. So I made a bit.ly, so it's super easy. So for the brand survey, it's Klaviyo-brands-survey. And then the consumer one is Klaviyo-consumer/survey. And then if you go to our website, follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook, we're sharing videos and all sorts of stuff every single day. So the more you know, as always, is the better. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Lizzie. Melissa here in the chat box is actually echoing what you said about the back in stock. She says back in stock flow is the best, captures so many leads, and does all the work of sending out the emails for us.
Yes, Melissa, thank you.
And I was going to say on the pulse checks, I find those so incredibly valuable. I check them myself all the time, and they're short. They're like 7-minute videos, which is like nothing, but there's so much good information in there, and I find them really, really valuable. So I highly recommend for anybody in here, check you guys out and listen to those pulse checks, do the surveys. They're super helpful.